always sound like that, as you can imagine. It actually sounded a little more like this. Anybody want to take a guess at what that was? Other than messy. Hot cross buns didn't sound like that for too long. Eventually, it sounded a little more like this. Christmas time, those of you that went over to Pence and listened to us play hot cross buns over there, you can tell there's a lot of improvement since then too, even on that same simple song with just 3 notes. Our next selection that we're going to perform for you is a piece entitled Power Rock. I have a lot of musician friends that ask me, they know that I teach 5th grade band, and then they say, how do you handle that? How do you deal with that? It's just this crazy mess of sound, and it's true that I do have to. My fall basically starts off with listening to the snare drums that sound like artillery gunfire and cannon bass drums, and the screeches from the clarinets. I tell you, it makes the nails on the chalkboard thing sound more like Mozart than anything else. And saxophones sound overbearing and like buzz saws. The tubas sound like B-52s coming in low. It's a mess. I mean, it's just a messy sound. But what they don't know is that I probably have one of the coolest jobs, because I get to see a crazy amount of growth in a really, really short period of time. It happens every day. I have people coming in still that are making really, really rapid progress, and that's really exciting. Somebody came in, I can remember just like it was yesterday. It was actually. Austin, I think it was yesterday. He came in and it's like he's playing, and I'm like, man, look at that! Like your stickings are awesome. We've been working all the time. He's like, yeah, practiced. So the practicing makes a difference, but I see that happen a lot, where somebody's struggling for a long time, can't play low on tuba, and then all of a sudden, after months, and then boom, that's the lowest sound you heard at the end of the nasty hot cross buns. That's cool. There's a lot of people who can't play high on trumpet. It's just the opposite problem, but all of a sudden, boom, it starts to work. And it's really, really exciting. You see that, I could go through a list, a long list. Probably every single kid has had a moment, in the band program where it really starts to turn around, it turns a corner. But it's a frustrating process. But they have to keep sticking with it in order to make it work, right? They're just kind of slamming away, and sometimes they don't want to slam away. You guys know that that's the case too, right? Because the word doesn't come home as much as it used to at the beginning of the school year. But you're like, hey, bring your horn home, keep practicing, and you're pushing them. And this next piece was exciting just because all of a sudden we sound like a rock band. We're playing power rock. We will rock you. Another one bites the dust. And after that rehearsal, I remember it well. It was like really, really super exciting because everybody's like, we're rock stars. And to me, they were, because they just all year they just kept pushing. And they have parents that keep pushing and say, you can't quit. You got to keep pushing. And I get to see the difference, and I get to see that growth and the benefit. So thank you for persevering. Mom and Dad, thank you guys for persevering. Here's Power Rock. what's exciting is being able to do new and different things. And for our flutes, for this next song, we get a chance to learn like how cool it sounds to actually play those trills that you've heard on flutes before. And so this is their first chance to kind of zero in and learn how to play those trills. It's pretty fun, and you can just see like all of a sudden you're playing your instrument and you're doing something that's really characteristic of that instrument. It's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome! And it's a lot of fun to see the enthusiasm from that. This one's called Flute Fancy. It features our flute section primarily. Hope you enjoy it. We have our lesson book, and as the students progress, as one exercise after another, it gets more difficult as it goes. And there's about a midway point in the lesson book where they get introduced to their first opportunity to play a solo. So there's actually a piano part that accompanies them, and the soloist they play. They kind of hit this it's kind of a significant point when that happens, because they have to have some mastery of some eighth notes and things like that. A lot of our students have made it to that point, and I think what I'll have them do today is on the piece is called Samo Creek. I'm just going to have them play it for you. We won't have the accompaniment this evening, but I'm going to have them play it. Actually, you can leave it right there, but it's good. So here's Samo Creek. You'll hear some moments where there's dead silence, and that's just the lack of accompaniment, and then you'll hear the band come in again. But I want those students to kind of stand and be recognized for making that achievement. So at this time, here's Samo Creek. some students come up and do some playing for you. These are this next group of people that are playing individually or in small groups. These are people who've played really to the end of their first book. They've either completed it or they're on just the last couple of pages of their book. But I also do like to try stuff that's new and kind of just to change it up a little bit. I tried to do things a little bit differently. And this year I thought, you know, why not have the percussionists actually spend some time writing their own snare drum solo. And Ashley came in and he wrote this solo that he's going to perform for you. And we kind of, every week he would come back in with this solo and I'd say, hey, why don't you do something different? Add something here. Or what do you want to do here? We could do this. And he kind of kept tweaking it over time. And it became the winter howl that you're going to hear this evening. So here's Ashley Langton. Next is Brianna Pope-Joy and Brandon Hoskins. They're going to be performing a duet for you on snare drums. And next we have Kobe Casas-Neves and Kier Jones playing Prelude for you. It's a clarinet duet. Both of these gentlemen were the first two to finish our first book this year, and so they got the, I guess, the special award for doing that, which was, I don't know, pat on the back, I think, maybe a few Jolly Roaches too, but they've really done well this year, and this is Rigatoo.
I got the idea from my dad, but Mr. Adams talked me into doing this, so I hope it's good, because I'm not 100% sure I can play it very nicely, so hope I'm gonna do well.
as a music teacher, I ask these students to do a heck of a lot. If you think about it, before you get to play a piece of music, you have to start with some real brain gymnastics. I mean, technically, this is what you have to do. And you like look at the clock and say, okay, there's a minute here, and the tempo marking says that we're supposed to play 100 beats per minute, so take 1 full minute, and there are 100 equal parts. Okay, so I got to deal with this kind of crazy spatial time thing and make sure I get that right. And then I'm playing this piece of music, and I've got to use that tempo. And then on top of that, I'm supposed to play the right notes, but I've got to learn how to actually physically push the buttons, so I got this kinesthetic motion, movement involved in what I'm doing, and then I'm supposed to play and listen to the people around me, but don't listen too close because they'll mess you up because they're playing different stuff than you, and I'm supposed to play it together, and I'm supposed to make sure that my beat is the same beat as their beat, and it's the same beat that the conductor's playing, and then there's a whole physics of how you actually produce a sound, which we don't even get into any of that. But then we're talking about some language stuff. We got to learn musical terms. What does andante mean? What does allegro mean? What's a crescendo and a decrescendo and all of those things? It's a lot of stuff to start to think about. And I've got to read this music, and so there's some reading skills involved into it. And it's no wonder that sometimes it feels a little bit overwhelming. It's also no surprise that the students that are studying music and participating in instrumental music programs are doing really a whole lot better usually than their peers in the areas of math, reading, and science. And after you put all that stuff together, then you got this crazy guy up in front of you that you're thinking about all those things, your head's swimming, and this guy up in front says, "Man, I want you to communicate with the audience and play with some passion." And it's like, man, I don't even know how to do anymore. All these things to think about. But somehow, it all happens and it all comes together. Though I feel like I teach math and science and language and all those things in a little bit, in little increments, I do have one definite distinct advantage over teaching anything else. And that's when I get done teaching those areas, we get to sound good. You know, it's like there's a cool sound that comes out after I think about all that stuff. We got this great sound. This next piece is called Furioso by Robert W. Smith, and it has elements of all of those things kind of happening. I'm going to have you listen to the band play a few different sections of this song, and then we'll see what it sounds like all together. But it's very complex. Everybody's doing different things, and there's all kinds of musical ideas kind of swirling around. Here's a little bit of the trombone section. Tenor sax playing at measure 43 of Furioso. So there's one musical idea. Saxophones and French horns have another idea that's happening. Here we go, 1, 2. Trumpets and flutes, here we go. So there's another melody that's happening. Then the clarinet section is doing something different. Playing a whole host of things. I'm actually not going to ask them to play because they're not all playing the same things at measure 43. It also takes place at different times. But that is a lot of stuff that's taking place. Anybody keep track? How many was that? How many different things was that? 6, maybe, something like that. But there's a lot of different things, and somehow this all has to mesh together. And you'll hear that happen about midway point through the song. So here's Furioso. students come out for 3 more short numbers that are have showcased some of our people who have gone exceedingly far and completed their first book. So this is Angel Samuelson and Ashley Lucas, and they're playing a piece titled Reset. Next, we have Britt Bowman playing a piece called Minuet by J.S. Bach. Right, finally we have Garrett Ward, Devin Redmond, and Jackson Wheaton performing a piece called Emperor's Hymn. And it's kind of got this pretty standard classical fanfare sound. So without further ado, here's Emperor's Hymn. this turn. The last two selections, Cardiff Castle and Dragon Slayer, kind of have this medieval castle kind of theme. One of the things that was nice, one of the things I enjoy about working here is that there's some great faculty here, people who really want to see students excel and are willing to try different things. Holly McDowell teaches art here at the middle school, and she was willing to try to incorporate some kind of castle dragon theme into some of the artwork that they were doing with 3D perspective drawings and things like that. So you'll see some artwork from our band students that they've created in art class as we play our next selection for you, Cardiff Castle.
Mrs. Anderson is not able to be here tonight, otherwise this would be her turn, or the last thing here. She would have an opportunity to speak to you briefly. She did write me a few notes. Basically, just to make sure that everybody is aware, we have a summer band program that runs for 2 weeks in late July through early August. It's July 23rd through Friday, August 3rd. The students would be coming in, if they wanted to participate in that camp, at 8 in the morning, and they'd be done at 9:15, and that would be every day for those 2 weeks. And at the end of that 2-week time, there'd be a short concert that they would present to you all. There's a lot of different reasons why it's a really valuable experience for them. One is just physically maintaining the ability to play. You probably heard teachers complain about what happens over summer, the retention just isn't there. This is an opportunity just to pick up your horn and play again and make sure some of that stuff is still sticking in your brain. And the reality is, you can only play so much Halo before you get, your brain completely rots anyway, So it's kind of good to get out of the house and blow the stink off of yourself and the horn all at the same time and come in and play. There's another opportunity. That cost, at the band camp is $40, and that covers both of those 2 weeks. I will have some out here at the table where the donation box was. I'll have some flyers that you can pick up about that band camp. And if you want to just email Mrs. Anderson, you can certainly do that or visit with her at another point too. We have one other opportunity, and that's just private lessons. There's a sheet of private lessons instructors, and I'll put that out there if your son or daughter is interested in studying privately with somebody here in town. We'll have the names of those people available back at that table also. So without further ado, I'm going to go into our final selection, Dragon Slayer. And this has been a really fun piece for the students this year. We have a really talented group of people, and for some people, for Emma Carlson, her talent is also in being able to write really well. And she agreed to write a little bit of a poem about what she kind of thought Dragon Slayer would be about. So I'm going to ask her to come and read it at this time. And the band will play a little underscore underneath it, and then we'll be right into Dragon Slayer. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. You've been a great audience. Thanks for letting me have this year to work with your students. Keep encouraging them to persevere and push on. And hopefully we'll see a lot of you at the summer band camp as well.
In a kingdom far away, a beautiful princess rests to stay. Bold and brave, a prince searches for his love, since a green-scaled dragon took her away. Battle they shall, in the shade and moonlight, armor gray. While a sharpened fangs poised to strike, heat scorching in the dragon's fiery tongue, the bells of battle nearby will certainly rung. Metal collides as the prince's sword thrashes, the claws of the dragon fight overmatched. Lightning flashes, and its scale smashes. A blink of the armor made the dragon sink